Hello friends, welcome to IAS ABHIYAN YouTube channel. In this video lecture series, we will discuss on April 2020 current affairs through one-liner. Here we will cover all the important current affairs through one-liner, which is quick to revise for UPSC Prelims. Let's start. The term minority has not been defined anywhere in the Constitution. Article 30 grants the rights to minorities, whether religious or linguistic minorities. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive disorder that causes brain cells to waste away and die. Alzheimer's disease is the most prevalent neurodegenerative disorder and accounts for more than 70% of all dementia. Next is Mekong River Commission. The Mekong River Commission comprises of Cambodia, Laos, Thailand and Vietnam. The Lower Mekong Initiative is the US partnership with all the downstream countries of Mekong besides Myanmar. The Mekong River flows from China to Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia and Vietnam. Next is panel on tropical cyclones. The World Meteorological Organization and the Economic Social Commission for Asian Pacific jointly established the panel on tropical cyclones in 1972. It is an intergovernmental body which comprises countries affected by tropical cyclones in the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. The main objective of this panel on tropical cyclones is to promote measures to improve tropical cyclone warning systems in the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. Next is the Global Report on Internal Displacement 2020. According to the report, nearly 5 million people were displaced in India during 2019, which is the highest in the world so far. It is a report from Internal Displacement Monitoring Center which was recently held during Gujarat International Finance Tech City. The first IFSC in India has been set up, that is Gift City in Gandhinagar at Gujarat state. Next is Special 301 report. The Special 301 report identifies trading partners that do not adequately or effectively protect and enforce intellectual property rights or otherwise deny market access to US innovators and creators that rely on protection of their IP rights. The report, that is Special 301 report, is released annually by the United States Trade Representative. Next is Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana. It is a social security scheme for the unorganized workers. The Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana is a voluntary and contributory pension scheme. Next is Tablighi Jamaat. Tablighi Jamaat means a society for spreading the faith. It is a conservative Muslim organization. It is a Sunni Islamic missionary movement. Its roots lie in the Deobandi version of the Hanafi school of jurisprudence. Next is Asian Development Bank. Asian Development Bank is committed to achieving a prosperous, inclusive, resilient and sustainable Asia and the Pacific while sustaining its efforts to eradicate extreme poverty. The bank is established in 1966 and is owned by 68 members, where 49 members were from the Asia region. Next is South Asia Seasonal Climate Outlook Forum. South Asian nations supported by the World Meteorological Organization have been conducting the South Asia Seasonal Climate Outlook Forum since 2010. The South Asia Seasonal Climate Outlook Forum is a consortium of meteorologists and hydrological experts from South Asian nations, including Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Maldives, and Myanmar. Next is dissolved oxygen. It is a measure of the amount of free oxygen available in river systems. Presence of organic and inorganic wastes in water decreases the dissolved oxygen content of the water. Next is Raja Ravi Verma. In 1904, the British colonial government awarded Raja Ravi Verma with the Kesari Hind Gold Medal. In 2013, a crater on the planet Mercury was named in his honor. His most famous works include Damayanti talking to a swan, Sakuntala looking for Dushyanta, Nair lady adorning her hair, and Santanu and Mashyagandha. Next important topic is Global Network Against Food Crisis. The Global Network Against Food Crisis was launched by the European Union, Food and Agriculture Organization, and World Food Programme during the 2016 World Humanitarian Summit. Call for new approaches to tackle protracted crises and recurrent disasters, reduce vulnerabilities, and manage risk by bridging the divide between development and humanitarian partners. Next is ordinance. An ordinance is a decree or law promulgated by a state or by national government without the consent of the legislator. Article 123 of the Constitution of India grants the President certain law-making powers to promulgate ordinances when either of the two houses of Parliament is not in session. Similar powers are given to the governor of a state to issue ordinances under Article 213 of the Constitution of India. Exercise Pitch Black is a biennial 3-week multilateral air combat training exercise hosted by the Royal Australian Air Force. Recently, Saudi Arabia has abolished flogging, commonly known as whipping or lashing. Flogging is a form of punishment and the death sentence for minors. A black hole is a place in space where gravity pulls so much that even light cannot get out. The gravity is so strong because matter has been squeezed into a teeny space. Next is an economic term, that is fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is nothing but the total amount of borrowings required to bridge the gap between government spending and revenues. The borrowings can be from the internal sources, that is public, commercial banks, central banks, etc., or the external sources, that is foreign governments, internal organizations, etc. Next topic is aerosols. Aerosols are defined as a combination of liquid or solid particles suspended in a gaseous or liquidic environment. In the atmosphere, these particles are mainly situated in the lower layers of the atmosphere, since aerosol sources are located on the terrestrial surface. However, certain aerosols can still be found in the stratosphere, especially volcanic aerosols is acted into the high altitude layers. Next is on river, that is Godavari. As we all know that Godavari is India's second longest river after the Ganga. It flows east for 1465 kilometers, draining the states of Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Karnataka, and ultimately emptying into the Bay of Bengal through its extensive network of tributaries. The major tributaries of the river are classified as left bank tributaries, which includes the Purna, Pranahita, Indravati and Savri river, and the right bank tributaries are Pravara, Manjira and Maner. The Pranahita river is the largest tributary of the Godavari river, which covers around 34% of its drainage basin. Next is Ambubachi Mela. In the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, the annual Ambubachi Mela in Assam will not be organized this year. The festival marks the annual menstruation of the presiding goddesses in the Kamakhya temple, which is situated in Guwahati in the state of Assam. Next is seismic noise. In geology, seismic noise refers to the relatively persistent vibration of the ground due to a multitude of causes. It is the unwanted component of signals recorded by a seismometer, the scientific instrument that records ground motions, such as those caused by earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and explosions. So basically, a seismometer is a scientific instrument which records ground motions, such as those caused by earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and explosions. Next is open market operations. Open market operations is one of the quantitative monetary policy tools which is employed by the central bank of a country to control the money supply in the economy. Open market operations are conducted by the RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, by way of sale or purchase of government securities to adjust money supply conditions. Reserve Bank of India carries out the open market operations through commercial banks and does not directly deal with the public. You have to remember this fact. Next is commodity markets outlook. It is a report published by the World Bank in the month of April and October. Recently, the Border Road Organization has constructed a permanent bridge on the Ravi River to connect Kasowal enclave in Punjab along the India-Pakistan border to the rest of the country. Project Chetak of the Border Roads Organization was raised in June 1962 at Dehradun for construction of Josimat Mallari Rinkin Road. Next is Noor. Noor is the first military satellite of Iran which was recently launched into the orbit. Next is intercontinental ballistic missiles. Intercontinental ballistic missiles are land-based ballistic missiles, generally nuclear armed ballistic missiles with a range of more than 5,500 km. Examples: India's Agni 5. There are also submarine launched ballistic missiles. Example: India's Dhanush ballistic missiles, which are initially powered by rockets, after which they follow an unpowered free falling trajectory toward their target. Next is World Press Freedom Index. The index has been published every year since 2002 by Reporters Sans Frontières, commonly known as Reporters Without Borders. Next is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is chaired by the Prime Minister, who lays down the priorities for public sector investment and considers specific proposals for investment of not less than specific levels as revised from time to time. The committee has a mandate to review economic trends on a continuous basis. The committee also directs and coordinates all policies and activities in the economic field, including foreign investment, that require policy decisions at the highest level. Next is remittances. A remittance is a money sent to another party, usually one in another country. Remittances represent one of the largest sources of income for people in low income and developing nations. In India is the world's biggest recipient of remittances. Remittances often exceeds the amount of direct investment and official development assistance. Remittances bolsters India's foreign exchange reserves and helps fund its current account deficit. Next important topic is anthurium. It is a domestic flowering plant known for purifying surrounding air and remove harmful airborne chemicals like formaldehyde, ammonia, toluene, xylene, and allergens. Anthurium has economic importance because of its eye-catching and beautiful inflorescence. NASA has also placed it in the list of air purifier plants. So anthurium is basically an air purifier plants. Next is cognizable offenses. In cognizable offenses, an officer can take cognizance of and arrest a suspect without seeking a court's warrant to do so, if she has reason to believe that the person has committed the offense and is satisfied that the arrest is necessary on certain enumerated basis. According to the 177th Law Commission report, cognizable offenses are those that require an immediate arrest. Cognizable offenses are generally heinous or serious in nature, such as murder, rape, kidnapping, theft, dowry, death, etc. The first information report, that is FIR, is registered only in cognizable crimes. Next is non-cognizable offenses. In case of a non-cognizable offenses, the police cannot arrest the accused without a warrant, as well as cannot start an investigation without the permission of the court. The crimes of forgery, cheating, defamation, public nuisances, etc. fall in the category of non-cognizable crimes. Next is Interstate Counsel, which was set up under Article 263 of the Constitution, may be a more appropriate forum to deal effectively and comprehensively with the larger issues related to migrant workmen. Sepsis. Sepsis is a serious life-threatening condition caused when the body's response to any kind of infection goes out of balance, triggering changes that can lead to multi-organ failure. So sepsis is a serious life-threatening condition which can lead to multi-organ failure. Next is gram-negative bacteremia, which is presence of bacteria in the blood stream in the critically ill patient, which is synonymous with gram-negative as sepsis. Gram-negative bacteria have built-in abilities to find new ways to be resistant and can pass along genetic materials that allow other bacteria to become drug-resistant as well. The Border Road Organization constructed the Deporizo Bridge over Subansiri River in Arunachal Pradesh in a record span of just 27 days. The bridge, that is Daporizo Bridge, is of utmost importance in strategic connectivity as it links roads leading up to the line of actual control between India and China. Subansiri River, also known as Gold River, originates in the Tibet Plate and enters India through Miri Hills in Arunachal Pradesh. The Subansiri River is the largest tributary of Brahmaputra River. Next important topic is Integrated Disease Surveillance Project. The project was launched by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in assistance with the World Bank in 2004. It continued as the Integrated Disease Surveillance Program during 12th plan, that is between 2012 to 2017, under the National Health Mission with a domestic budget. Scientists define the beginning of interstellar space as the region where the sun's constant flow of material and a magnetic field from sun stops affecting its surroundings. In interstellar space, there would be an increase in cold particles. Recently, cytokine storm syndrome are seen in some cases of COVID-19, leading to higher mortality. Cytokine storm syndrome is seen as a major cause of mortality in 1918 to 20 for Spanish flu, H1N1 that is swine flu, and H5N1 that is bird flu outbreaks in recent years. Cytokines are small proteins released by many different cells in the body, including those of the immune system, to coordinate the body's response against infection and trigger inflammation. So basically, cytokines are small proteins that are released by many different cells in the body. Next is Anak Krakatau. It is a volcanic island in the Sunda Strait between Java and Sumatra Islands in Indonesia. Anak Krakatau. It is a volcanic island. Next is Guru Nanak Dev Jayanti. It is observed to celebrate the birth of Guru Nanak Dev, who is the first of the 10th Sikh Gurus and the founder of Sikhism. He advocated the Nirguna, that is devotion to and worship of formless divine form of bhakti. He advocated the Nirguna form of bhaktism. Next important topic is Bangalore blue. It is characterized by its foxy flavor, which is exclusively grown in Bangalore, urban Chikkabalapur and Kolar districts. It is grown in red sandy loam soil at a day temperature of about 35 to 37 degrees Celsius and a night temperature of 12 to 15 degrees Celsius, which is unique to Bangalore and its surrounding areas. The grapes develop their typical dark purple color at this temperature in 2013. The Bangalore blue was given their geographical indication status or tag. In 2019, global cyber security firm Kaspersky Security identified 3 prominent ransomwares: Ryuk, Purga and Stop. You have to remember these terms, that is Ryuk, Purga and Stop. India was attacked by all 3 groups of ransomwares. So what is ransomwares? A ransomware attack infects computers in a network and encrypts files on these computers and then demands a ransom to recover the files. Next is the ways and means advances. It is a short-term loan facilities which allow the center and the states to borrow funds from the RBI to bridge their temporary mismatch between expenditure and receipts. The interest rate on ways and means advances is the RBI's repo rate. Ways and means advances loans have a 3-month tenure. States are allowed an overdraft facility to borrow in excess of ways and means advances limit of 21 days. Next is Puthandu festival. It is celebrated in Tamil Nadu. It is also mentioned in Sangam literature. So you have to remember this important term, that is Puthandu festival. It is celebrated in the state of Tamil Nadu. The term, the festival, is also mentioned in Sangam literature. Next is International Council on Monuments and Sites. The International Council on Monuments and Sites is a global non-governmental organization associated with UNESCO. Its mission is to promote the conservation, protection, use and enhancement of monuments, building complexes and sites. It is an advisory body, not a binding body. It is an advisory body of the World Heritage Committee for the implementation of World Heritage Convention of UNESCO. India has 38 World Heritage Sites that include 30 cultural properties, 7 natural properties and 1 mixed site. Next is sodium hypochlorite, commonly known as bleach. It is most frequently used as a disinfecting agent. It is a broad spectrum disinfectant that is effective for the disinfection of viruses, bacteria, fungi and mycobacterium. Next is Bihu festival. It is the main festival of Assam. It is celebrated 3 times a year. Rongali or Bohang Bihu is the Assamese New Year and Spring Festival. The Rongali Bihu coincides with Sikh New Year Baisakhi. It is the harvest or sowing festival. It marks the first day of the Hindu solar calendar and is also observed in Bengal, Manipur, Mithila, Nepal, Orissa, Punjab, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Next is Rights and Risks Analysis Group has sought Indian Prime Minister's intervention in ensuring food for the Chakma and Hazong communities in Arunachal Pradesh. Basically, Chakmas are predominantly Buddhists while Hazongs are Hindus. They were originally the residents of the Chittagong hill tracts of East Pakistan known as Bangladesh. They entered India through the then Lusai Hills district of Assam, now Mizoram. The center moved the majority of them to the northeast frontier agency, which is now Arunachal Pradesh. Next topic is on Devanahalli Pomelo. In a bid to revive and conserve Devanahalli Pomelo, which is an endangered citrus fruit. So Devanahalli Pomelo is an endangered citrus fruit. The operators of Kempagoda International Airport in Bangalore have started a plantation drive in their region as part of their flagship CSR program. Namma Oru Devanahalli Pomelo has got a GI tag as it is known for its sweet taste. It is also known as by its scientific name Citrus maxima. The tree's fruit is rich in vitamin C. Next is Matterhorn. It is a mountain of the Alps. It is situated in the Pennine Alps on the border between Switzerland and Italy. Sometimes referred to as the mountain of mountains, the Matterhorn has become an iconic emblem of the Alps in general. Next is Artilamp. That is reverse transcription-based loop-mediated isothermal amplification. It is a simple quantitative detection method. In this method, the DNA copy of the viral RNA is generated by reverse transcript and then isothermal amplification is carried out to increase the amount of total DNA. Next is special drawing rights. It is neither a currency nor a claim on the International Monetary Fund. Basically, it is a potential claim on the freely usable currencies of IMF members. Special drawing rights can be exchanged for these currencies. The SDR serves as the unit of account of the International Monetary Fund. The currency value of the SDR is determined by summing the values in the US dollars based on market exchange rates of a SDR basket of currencies. The SDR basket of currencies include the US dollar, euro, Japanese yen, pound sterling, and Chinese renminbi. The SDR currency value is calculated daily, except on IMF holidays or whenever the IMF is closed for business, and the valuation basket is reviewed and adjusted every 5 years. India's foreign exchange reserves also incorporate special drawing rights. Next is Kondar Redis, Koyas, and Kolam. So they are the popular tribes living in Godavari Valley. Kondar Redis and Kolam are part of particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Next is fluorescence. It is the emission of light by a substance that has absorbed light or other electromagnetic radiation. Next is Jud Seetal. It is a festival celebrated in Bihar, which is also called as Maithili New Year. Next is sovereign gold bonds. Sovereign gold bonds are listed on exchange, but the trading volumes are not high. Therefore, it will be difficult to exit before maturity. This is a long-term investment, unlike physical gold, which can be sold immediately. Next important topic is World Economic Outlook. It is a survey by the International Monetary Fund that is usually published twice a year in the months of April and October. It analyzes and predicts global economic developments during the near and medium term. Next is Nihang. Nihang is an order of Sikh warriors characterized by blue robes, arms such as swords and spears, and decorated turbans surmounted by steel cords. The Nihangs can be traced back to the creation of the Khalsa by Guru Gobind Singh in 1699. Many claim the sect to be Guru de Ladli Fauj. Nihangs today constitute a small community and observe the Khalsa code of conduct in its strictest sense. Next is ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. It is an apex body in India for the formulation, coordination and promotion of biomedical research. Its mandate is to conduct, coordinate and implement medical research for the benefit of the society, translating medical innovations into products, processes and introducing them into the public health system. The ICMR is funded by the Government of India through the Department of Health Research, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Next is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is a method of raising capital through the collective effort of a large number of individual investors. This approach taps into the collective efforts of a large pool of individuals, primarily online via social media and crowdfunding platforms, and leverages their networks for greater reach and exposure. Next important current affairs will be discussed in our part 2 series. Thanks for watching.